Coming up on Network Africa. Clashes erupt in Mozambique as opposition leader Venancio Mondlane returns from exile. "19 killed as security forces in Chad foil armed attack on the presidential complex." Plus, Congo's president meets with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, pledging to advance bilateral ties and China-Africa cooperation. Welcome everyone, I'm Joke Rogers here in Lagos. At least 19 people have died following violent clashes in Chad when security forces intervened to stop armed fighters from attacking the presidential complex in the capital N'Djamena. According to the government, 24 attackers stormed the presidential palace, 18 of whom were killed during the failed raid on the president's office, and 6 others sustained injuries. One security officer also lost his life in the battle. Initially, Chad's Foreign Minister Abderrahmane Koulimala tried to downplay the attack, insisting the situation in the capital was stable after residents reported hearing multiple gunshots for several minutes near the presidential compound. He, however, noted security forces had thwarted what it called an effort to destabilize the country. The foreign minister also reassured the public that soldiers were protecting the president and that the situation was now under control.
Je veux que vous soyez rassurés. On est là et nous défendrons notre pays au prix de notre sang. Soyez calmes.
And Chadian President Mohamed Idris Deby has met with the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in N'Djamena, Chad, to discuss advancing bilateral cooperation. President Mohamed congratulated China on successfully hosting the summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation in Beijing last year, which he said has significantly advanced China-Africa relations. He also noted China's cooperation with Africa has always been based on mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefit. He also expressed gratitude to China for its enduring support for Africa's development, particularly Chad's progress. The Chadian president indicated that China is Chad's important strategic partner and a reliable friend, with their bilateral relations serving as a model of win-win cooperation. He also said Chad is willing to strengthen communication and coordination with China to uphold shared positions and protect common interests. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has also met with Congo's President Denis Sassou during his visit to the capital Brazzaville on Tuesday. Now, both leaders pledged to advance bilateral ties and the China-Africa cooperation. Congo's president expressed hope that China's emphasis on Africa will lead to greater attention and more support for the continent on a global scale. Mr. Wang praised Chad's vibrant development under President Sassou's leadership, calling the Republic of the Congo a loyal friend and important partner of China. In the meantime, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, is reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to upholding the terms of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Nigeria and China. Ambassador Tuga made the commitment during a high-level meeting with China's Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Wang Yi. The minister also pledged Nigeria's commitment to supporting the One China principle and assured Nigeria's continued support for China at the international stage. After a closing session, the diplomats proceeded to the State House for a meeting with President Bola Tinubu.
And member of the Political Bureau.
Nigeria recognizes and appreciates the high-level visits between the officials of the two countries that have helped in shaping and strengthening this existing relationship between both countries. You will recall that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu paid a state visit to China from the 3rd to the 4th of September 2024 and was received by his Chinese counterpart, during which 4 MOUs were signed. Nigeria reaffirms its commitment to the terms of the MOUs which are currently at various stages of implementation. Importantly, we formalize the upgrading of our relationship from a strategic partnership to a comprehensive strategic partnership. We work together to elevate Nigeria-China relations to new heights. I'm confident that our deliberations will yield meaningful outcomes in fostering a brighter future for our nations and our peoples.
And we head to Mozambique now, where opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has returned home from exile, where he has been in hiding following October's disputed presidential election that sparked deadly protests. Local officials say police fired live ammunition and tear gas to prevent supporters of Mr. Mondlane from reaching the main airport in the capital, Maputo, where he landed to welcome him. Some of his supporters were reported to have sustained injuries during the clashes. The opposition leader said he was returning to be closer to the protest movement that has seen weeks of nationwide demonstrations in which dozens of people have been reportedly killed. He left Mozambique fearing for his life after two senior members of his opposition party were killed in their car by gunmen in a late-night shooting in the aftermath of the election. His return comes ahead of next week's swearing-in ceremony of President Daniel Chapo of the ruling Frelimo party, who was confirmed as the winner of October's poll by the Constitutional Court. Let's get more on this as we bring in Wilker Diaz, Executive Director of Decide Platform, joining us from Mozambique. Great to see you today.
Thank you.
Right, so what has been the mood in the country since the homecoming of the opposition leader? We understand, there were heavy clashes, as we just reported, with the police and his supporters.
Yes, on this morning, when Venancio Mondlane arrived in the Hill report, we saw so many people in some different points in Maputo city, where the people need to give the compliments to the opposition leader right now, and during this process, the police are shooting with real bullets for the people and tear gas. During this whole process, in this morning, we have three casualties, three people dead during that process, and we have six people are shooting by real bullets from the police, and the other people, we don't have exactly number, but we have the people are injuring after the other process. So right now, the situation are still calm. We need to see what will happen in the next days, because Venancio Mondlane said he'll go to the inauguration to him, and on next week we have also the inauguration of the Daniel Chapo. So we don't know what will happen in the next days, but also we have the civil society, Mozambican civil society right now are moving one action. So maybe we have some news tomorrow, after tomorrow about it, but move some court case in the African the court to try to stop or suspend that inauguration from the candidate Daniel Chapo's. The Constitutional Council will make their choice.
Many wonder what the opposition leader's goal is now that he has returned. I mean, in a few days, the country will swear in a new president.
Yeah, so I think that is the most big problem right now is to see what will happen in the next days. But Venancio Mondlane returned to Mozambique to try to unify the people in the different parts. If you look, for example, the last events in Mozambique make some division. For example, the destruction of the infrastructure in the different points, and that said that he separate that things are separate the people in our country. But right now, I think Venancio Mondlane come to Mozambique to try to unify the people and to find one way to solve that whole problem.
And are there fears that more deadly protests could erupt, further pushing the country into a political turmoil?
Yes, the most part of the people have afraid right now to that type of demonstration. How we see the worst situation because we have one police who are shooting most part of the time with real bullets for the protesters, and the type of action created so many problems and panic in our society. But we have faith maybe in the next days maybe we open one dialogue with the Venancio Mondlane is our hope, and maybe the government or the other parties open one front of dialogue to try to make some conversation with Venancio Mondlane and try to solve that problem because Venancio Mondlane said he win the elections. We have evidence of fraud during that whole process, and I think that is the one of the big problems in the next days to see what will happen. But if the situation continue like that, maybe we'll see the worst situation during this whole process because right now we have a 200 and if 90 4 persons dead during this whole process from October to today.
And let's talk about the inauguration ceremony. Are many optimistic, to welcome a new president? What are those expectations for the new administration?
For the new administration, the expectation is to go to make some activities in the most specific areas. When I say specific areas, I said access to the basic things like education, schools, and work for the young people. Because of the most part of the demonstration or protesters in the streets are young people, so the young people is the most predominant area to try to solve and find some way right now. So that is the reason we say that intention to try to solve that problems and the young people is the target right now to have some satisfaction during these first days of the administration. If you don't see that things happening in our or the new government, maybe we will see more demonstration during the government, the new government day. So that is the first point we can say right now.
And what preparations are being put in place for the inauguration in terms of security to ensure a smooth transition of power?
In the streets, we don't have we don't see any signal of the preparation of the insecurity sector for the inauguration, but in backstage we have some reports, we have some information that the military forces are prepared right now to that inauguration and that. But maybe we can waiting for the day to see and or the next week to see what will happen in the inauguration. I have more information about the security sector.
Well, must thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the program. Cote d'Ivoire's President Alassane Ouattara says he considers himself healthy enough to continue serving his country, fueling speculation about his political future. The 82-year-old made the statement during a meeting with the diplomatic corps in Abidjan. Ivory Coast's ruling party expressed support for President Ouattara, who's seeking a fourth term this year. He has governed the country since 2011. It comes as top officials of his party passed a motion in September backing his leadership for the next presidential election. In Nigeria, former military head of state Yakubu Gowon has paid tribute to former United States President, the late Jimmy Carter, for his humanitarian services to Nigeria, Africa, and other parts of the world, especially the eradication of guinea worm. He notes that the former president was a beacon of service to humanity, demonstrating to leaders worldwide the profound impact of dedication beyond holding the highest office. General Gowon disclosed this at a press briefing on the life and service of the late Jimmy Carter in Abuja.
he had lived 100 years before, before he left us, before the Lord, called him. But I think in those 100 years, President Carter has achieved quite a lot for his country, United States of America, and also the world in general, and especially for humanity, as a whole. Certainly we'll miss him very dearly. His humanitarian activity, after presidency, yes, he only had one term as president, and unfortunately for him, the unfortunate incident that created problem for him for his second term. But after that, he didn't just sit down and mourn that because he's lost the presidency at that time. He really got into really dealing with human problems, throughout the world. And I can assure you, as he went around, he also tried to really also in politics encouraging democracy, in the world.
Nigeria, the Postmaster General, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Postal Services, Ms. Tola Odeyemi, says NIPOST is ready to collaborate with the Lagos State government to drive innovation, boost economic development, and enhance public service delivery. The Postmaster General made this comment when she paid a courtesy visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the Lagos House in Marina. She commends the Lagos State government on its giant strides in governance and infrastructural development across the state and promises to support the growth of the state through NIPOST services.
I would like to quickly present a framework for collaboration between the Lagos State government and NIPOST in areas that will drive citizen engagement, innovation, and boost economic development. As Postmaster General, one of my primary goals is building a NIPOST of the 21st century that would enhance efficiency, that will support economic development, and bring back NIPOST to the relevance that it was. This visit is not only a call for collaboration, but a commitment to mutual progress together so that we can enhance public service delivery, stimulate economic growth, and set a standard for excellence for other states to follow. We've already said that we'll continue the engagement, particularly on this, and maybe hopefully Lagos State will be the first point of rollout for this program.
Meanwhile, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu urged the Nigerian Postal Service to use technology as an enabler to enhance the ease of doing business in Lagos State and across the country. The governor also reiterated the commitment of the government to collaborate with NIPOST office service centers to improve its physical spaces and enhance e-commerce as well as the movement of and sales of goods.
You mentioned things around e-commerce, around wealth and activity. Why not? Anything that will make ease of doing business for us better, anything that will make the people that we're serving not having another level of bureaucracy, we're willing to do it. So we're excited. If you say you want to be part of our food and logistics, so be it. We're open, to ensure that anything that can enhance what we're developing or building, we will certainly be willing to work with you. One place that I know that, one thing that you have, which you can indeed, I don't know what is the plan, are your infrastructure that are dotted, all around the country, and how best, what kind of service center you want to turn them to. We can collaborate, Don't just be restricted to this is what I meant. Challenge your minister, challenge whoever it is, and say that you want to make a change. It's just that you guys have to just think very, very well, for you to be able to meet, the reality of today in our state and in our country. We are willing to collaborate. We are willing to support you. Everybody's here. EGIS, we have the best, updated EGIS, geospatial photographs now where, we can pinpoint any location, and these are the kind of things that, you should be rendering as services. So we want to wish you well.
And we're still in Nigeria. Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State in the northwest has issued a strong response to critics accusing him of losing control of his administration, insisting that his government remains focused on delivering democratic dividends to the people. Speaking during the empowerment of over 5,000 women across the 44 local government areas of the state, the governor blamed his critics for the decline in Kano's education, health and economic sectors. Our correspondent Sadiq Ilyasu reports.
In a major empowerment drive, 5,200 women from across Kano State gathered to receive startup capital of 50,000 naira each.
From Tunimoda local government. You are witnessing the presentation of 50,000 naira women empowerment.
The event, held in Kano, was part of the governor's initiative to boost women's economic participation and support small businesses.
This administration has improved the livelihood of over 41,600 vulnerable women by removing a significant financial barrier, stopping them from contributing to the economy of the state. Through this laudable program, we aim to provide a seed of funds for our indigent women to engage in trades and learn skills to become artisans and self-reliant. We have been committed to the distribution of monthly working capital of 50,000 naira.
During the event, Governor Yusuf was presented with an award of excellence for his humanitarian support and efforts to uplift the less privileged.
His Excellency was the courageous governor of the year 2024 by this Nigeria newspaper in Lagos. For the 2025, His Excellency, out of his commitment, still retains multiple awards for the 2024 that will happen in 2025.
In response to criticism, the governor defended his leadership, dismissing claims of instability and underscoring his dedication to delivering development projects.
So the
I had some people criticizing us, the same people who left the state in ruins. Now they are already talking about 2027, but 2027 is in God's hands. For now, our focus remains on fulfilling the promises we made to the people.
Governor Yusuf reaffirmed his commitment to transforming the state, promising to silence critics through performance and results. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
That's Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.